live and on your side. This is KTBS 3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Jerry May.
And I'm Brenda Till. Thank you for joining us for KTBS 3 News at 6. We begin our newscast with a Mega 3 Storm Team yellow weather alert. We wanted fall, Jerry.
Here it is.
Here it is. Arklatex has been seeing some fog. We've seen gray skies, and we've seen the rain.
A Shreveport family is still in a mess with the sewer department.
The evidence that showed that it was what flooded my home was debris and toilet paper all the way at the top of the main. So that means not only did it come into my home, but it came out into the environment.
So that was Tiffany Thompson 3 weeks ago when we first showed you her story. She says her North Highland home has been flooded in raw sewage since May. And Tiffany and her husband say they are absolutely fed up and they want help from the city. And that's why they're taking their fight to the sewer board. That meeting is underway right now. Allison Lorraine has stepped out to join us with more on this. Allison.
Hey Jerry, this was the first time Tiffany Thompson and her husband came to address them face to face to talk about these issues they've been facing. A lot of this was news to me, some of the things she mentioned tonight, which including feces that was floating in her home. She's got two little boys, one years old, one I believe 7, and it's been really hard on the family. She says both the boys have asthma and they have to use breathing ventilators to help them, and they can't afford to buy a new home or relocate. So it's really hard on them right now.
A town in Bienville Parish is dealing with financial troubles. To fix that, the mayor of the town of Arcadia laid off 4 employees and moved 3 jobs to part-time positions. KTBS 3's Dominique Brokel joins us live from their Arcadia Outlet Mall. And Dominique, is the mall one of the reasons Arcadia is letting people go?
Well, Brenda, Mayor Orlandis Milken tells me that this is a major part of the town's financial issues, and he's already talked to a realtor about listing it for sale. And this isn't the only piece of property. The mall, 43 acres of land, and a drive-through commercial bank, all owned by the town, are for sale.
The Bossier City Council is expected to vote on the budget for the next year. Last week, they approved their first reading on a $59 million spending plan. Our Roxette Pietri-Freeman has been at today's meeting. So, Roxette, anything other than the budget discussed so far?
Well, yes, Jerry, the budget was approved, which means that this is good news for Bossier residents because they basically have kept their budget since the year 2017. So this translates Bossier residents will not have to pay for any state taxes or any other fees. That's good news. However, they did discuss another thing, and it's that fence that divides that Walmart and Kroger's. If you've ever been to those on Airline Drive, you've noticed that huge fence that divides those parking lots. Well,
Some area seniors may not have access to all the services at the Bossier Council on Aging. That's after several vehicles were broken into over the weekend. Executive Director Tamara Crane says that their vehicles were damaged so severely, they may not be able to pick up some of their clients for several weeks. Crane says the vehicles were stolen, damaged, and returned. The Bossier Council on Aging gives rides to seniors, taking them to their site every day for recreation, wellness checks, and exercise and meals, along with taking them to medical appointments. The band serves seniors in rural areas like Plain Dealing and Benton.
We have some sad news about one of our great veterans in the Arklatex. William Travis Moore died after a fire at his home north of Dixie Inn. The World War II veteran and former prisoner of war suffered burns when a blaze broke out in his kitchen Saturday morning. Authorities say he died early yesterday of a heart attack while undergoing treatment at a Shreveport hospital. This was Mr. Moore just last month when he was presented with an American flag at a POW MIA Remembrance Day ceremony. Moore had survived the downing of his B-17 bomber over Germany. He was a gunner. He was taken prisoner, and he endured harsh conditions until the Nazi prison camp was liberated. William Travis Moore was 97, and I sat down with him right there in that kitchen a couple of times to hear his story. And he's one of those guys, grew up with nothing, went and served our country bravely, and just came back home and lived a humble life. He was a gunsmith there on his property, and he's just one of the many from that generation that we owe our freedom to.
Yeah. It's different when you know them.
Definitely. And, just saw him last month.
Yeah.